Well, good morning. Welcome to Rev Up. I'm Tommy Watson. I am also a realtor for the last 16 years. I'm your broker in charge, or one of them, and I'm also the instructor for today's lesson. Yay. Okay, so we're talking about GPS, goals, plans, or planning and systems. This is good stuff to talk about, right? I know some of you are like turning your noses or whatever, like, hey, this is foundational groundwork. I think it's exciting, and I think you will too. So this is module 1 out of 12 modules that make up our Rev Up Fast Track program. All right, as always, we start with an affirmation, right? I hope you can see the screen. It's a little blurry, but this is the first affirmation. And it's really important, if you don't know who you are, if you don't know where you're going, somebody else will tell you who you are and they will show you where to go. And it won't be in your plan, it will be in theirs. So let's, on the count of 3, just unmute and let's affirm this to ourselves together on 3. 1, 2, 3. I am the architect of my life. I build its foundation and choose its contents. Okay, some of you might be in the grocery store, but let's do it again.
No, I just didn't get to the mute button fast enough.
I'm not trying to call anybody out. All right, let's do it again. I am the architect of my life. I build its foundation and choose its contents. I like it when I do this stuff by myself. Hey, Gina, thanks. All right. Y'all are good, so go ahead and mute. So what does this mean? So when we talk about, go to my next slide. When we talk about affirmations, we're talking about how we treat ourselves. If we want other people to believe in our business, we have to believe in it first. Before we can believe in our business, we have to believe in ourselves. One of the things that tripped me up as an agent, back in 2007, 8, I felt like I was overwhelmed because there was so many, there was so many other agents who were doing far better than me and had, and I just kept telling myself, I can't do this like they're doing it. And it was a lie because, hey, everybody starts somewhere, right? And the fact that I was creative, I did have a drive. I did know people. I went around and talked about my business. But I let these things get in my head about how, well, I don't know everything. I haven't mastered all of this content, And then, I started to, as the time went by, I started to watching these agents who were like dominating the market. And I saw where a lot of times they were hanging on by the seat of their pants. They didn't know it either. They just knew a lot of people had good timing or were doing something right that really would put their business on a trajectory for high growth. So what I've come to learn is we're all the same, really. But what's different is the drive that's inside of us and that yearning to actually achieve something in the real estate industry or using real estate as our vehicle. Does that make sense? So for me in other areas, I've used ministry, military, and now real estate. So it all goes, it doesn't matter what you do. By the way, for those of you who are getting into real estate later in life, the skills and abilities that you bring with you from other industries are what's going to make you shine. In fact, you have the edge on somebody who's just getting into real estate as a younger person because you have all this experience and knowledge. And it does help when you have the sphere of influence that follows it, but we can teach you how to go out and reach people. So anyway, just make sure you have that drive. That's why these affirmations are so important. So you are the architect of your life. You're the one that's going to build it and you're going to choose the content. Nobody's going to do it for you. That's the point. All right, so let's talk about our learning objectives. We're going to talk about the importance of a positive mindset, tools that you're going to be using, how to think like a business owner. And if you get one thing out of today's lesson, I hope this is going to be it. You think like a broker, a business owner, okay? Not just a real estate agent, not just a sales agent, but you're a business owner. A resource library of recommended books. I don't think I have that in here, but we can talk about it. Writing SMART goals, what that means, creating a budget and expense worksheet. We will definitely do that. What your current productivity is. Time blocking for business success, which is really important. If you heard my motivation Monday or Monday motivation this morning, I talked about that a little bit. Personal accountability. Okay. That goes back to the stuff that you have inside of you that's going to drive you forward. Various types of prospecting. We're going to talk about scripts and dialogues, just on a surface level. How about a prospecting schedule and how to follow up leads, and then utilizing all of this, the GPS tools. So let's go ahead and start with developing your business mindset. Before I do, are there any questions? Okay, let me make sure I see, we still got everybody here. Okay, so you can read that. Characteristics for real estate success. So the first one is a great work ethic. Look, if you can't put the grind in, it doesn't matter what business you're in. It's not going to go anywhere. So many real estate agents get into the business and they like the idea of selling houses. They like the idea of a lot of different things that we do, but they don't actually really go out and master it. It's a hobby for them. And look, I'm not going to judge you. If you want real estate to be your hobby, that's great. However, what we're going to teach here at Realty One Group is we're going to teach you how to dominate, how to be the master of the real estate business. And look, here's my personal philosophy in everything that I've done. Whatever I do, I want to make sure that I do it to the best of my abilities. That means I need to master the content. Okay, I need to know not just what I'm doing, but the why behind it. And that's what we want to teach you guys here at this firm. So bring the grind. We can give you the training, but we can't give you that. An unwavering perseverance. I kind of just talked about that, but you got to be willing to look. Getting something in escrow is easy, but getting it to close is not so easy. How many people, how many processes, how many systems do we use to get from contract to close? A lot. You know, we teach you on average.
I thought.
What's that?
42? I think I remember reading that somewhere.
Yeah, about 48. There's probably even more than that, but I think my handout is 47 or 48 things that we kind of teach that are steps that are going to happen along the way. And the big reason I want you to know that is because I want you to be able to relay that to your clients, because they think all we do is go out and show houses and get a big fat check. That's not all we do, by far. Sometimes a transaction is easier than others, but for the most part, most of the transactions I've ever had, even the ones I thought were going to be easy, they're not easy. You got to stay in it and you got to work. So when I say unwavering perseverance, that means you've got to be available and flexible from day one of contract until you close. Okay. You can't just sit out there for a week and not have any contact, or you're going to lose the deal. A positive make it happen mindset. This is a big one. Okay, so I will just tell you, my default demeanor is probably not a nice one. If you were to come and look at me when I'm just sitting around just being me or studying or whatever, I probably look like I'm mad. Okay, at least that's what Jackie tells me all the time. But I do love to interact with people, but that's just me. We got to make sure, we got to be aware of what we're doing, what we're saying, what we're thinking when we're around other people. Okay. And not just when we're around other people, we need to practice this, even when we're alone. So how to be a positive person, that's something that's something you got to have inside of you. That's something that you got to pull out. Some days we all get up and we don't want to look at anybody. We don't want to talk to anybody. But overall, you got to have a positive mindset, because when you get in front of somebody, they're facing one of the biggest choices and probably monetary decisions in their life, buying a house or even selling a house. They need to know that you're on their side, and you know how to do the business, and you can make it happen. So if I roll in and somebody's giving me a scenario of, I got to sell my house, but this has got to happen. I got 3 other family members on the deed. If right away I start being negative, saying, oh yeah, you're in a bind, buddy. You don't want to do that. You want to say, hey, this is what I do for a living. I'm here to help. I can put you in touch with other professionals. We can make it happen. Okay. Now you don't lie. If you know you can't do something, you don't say that, but you're going to let them know that you can get it done. Diligence, hard work, and self-discipline will cover, like the Bible says, will cover a lot of sin. Okay. You can do some things wrong and get away with it if you have these 3 things. Look, as a broker in charge, supervising agents, if I have an agent that's hardworking and they're trying to do right and something goes wrong, I'm going to try my best to be as nice as I can to them and help them. Okay. If I have that agent who's dragging their feet, doing nothing, doing sloppy work, and they get in trouble, I'm going to say, yep, this is why. So, anyway, that'll take you a long way. And in front of your clients, it will buy you a lot of, whatever you want to call them, a lot of fluffies. All right. Be consistent. Okay. I always say that consistency wins the day. What I found is, when I was talking about a lot of those real estate agents that were really working at a high level, I found out that really they weren't smarter than me. They didn't have, a lot of money starting out. They were just, they're just like everybody else, but they had discipline and they were consistent. Okay. If you're consistent over time, you're going to win, because too many people, they're just short termers. They just want to knock it out of the park, and then they get tired, they wear themselves out, and then they're gone. What you want to do is be that consistent minded agent who's stable, keeps walking forward. Don't worry that you don't know everything. You're not going to know everything. In the real estate business, things change every week, right? But here's the difference. It's just like an attorney. An attorney might want you to think they know everything, but they don't. But they know where to get the answer. Okay. So be consistent. All right. Stick to your schedule. Okay. This is a biggie when we're talking about time blocking, because if we're planning backwards, we time block around our lifestyle, right? Things that have to happen, like doctor's appointments, spending time with family, that stuff you're not going to change and don't need to change. If you get in the habit of changing your schedule for your clients or anybody else, then you're not going to have a consistent and stable real estate business. I had to learn this the hard way. For 2 years, I chased leads. My business was 80% online leads, and I worked 7 days a week. I wore myself out. My family was mad at me because I was never around, and I worked through vacations. So that's when I changed my business. I said, well, look, I'm going from a buyer's business to a seller's business. I want to work with listings. That way I can list it, then I can go out of town. But anyway, stick to your schedule. Did you know that on average it takes 30 to 60 days to change a habit? Different gurus out there tell you different things. 21 days, 30 days, 45 days, 60 days, but it takes a few weeks to change a habit, right? Well, it takes even longer to change a lifestyle. For you to fully understand how real estate can impact your life, it takes about a year. I have a story where I share with other agents how I just got sick of not having anything and not going anywhere in my business. And in less than 24 months, I went from less than 2 million in volume to almost 10 million. And it wasn't easy, but I had to do these three things up here. I had to build a schedule. Yeah. And I hate that, but I had to build a schedule. I had to be consistent, and I had to put a lot of hard work in it. What you'll find is the real estate business is not an add subtraction business. Okay. It's a multiplication business. What I mean is, when you lead generate, when you do the right things, when you're out building your brand and telling people about your business, about, what you do, you want their business, you might get, let's just say you might get 5 leads a month. The next month, don't expect just to get 5 leads. So the people that you talked to the month before could decide to call you the next month. So what it looked like for me when I was turning a lot of volume was, so I can show you Excel spreadsheets of where, like, say January and February, I might have had 1 or 2 closings. March, I had 7 closings. April, I had 4 closings. May, I had 9 closings. So what you're going to find is real estate stacks on itself. So that momentum that you build is going to bring you more business. So for those of you who are thinking, man, I'll only close 1 a month or half of 1 a month, things could drastically change the next day, because 3 people could call you and say, hey, I've heard about you. I need you to come look at my house, or I'd like to go look at properties. But you've got to be ready. And that's why that schedule will allow you to be ready, because I'm not sure if I'll show you a schedule today, but for the most part, real estate is this: you get up, you do your personal thing, you get to the office or your office, wherever it is, you get up, you lead generate, you call people, and then before lunch, you return calls, emails. After lunch, the afternoon is for showings, okay? Or one-on-ones with people, going and doing a listing appointment. And then, you stop at 5 or 6 or whatever it is, you do family time, and then the next day you do the same thing. If you stick to a schedule like that and you build your business around it, you're going to be able to grow your business. But if you let people dictate your schedule, it's going to be hard to grow your business. All right, I think we've talked enough about perseverance. And you guys are awesome. You're out there knocking it out of the park. Just remember to stay positive. Attitude is everything. John Maxwell is one of the leadership gurus that I've followed for a long time. And I love his little saying that your attitude determines your altitude. How nice and pleasant you are determines how far you will go. And I know this to be true because I don't care what the system says, the world says, but when somebody sees somebody else that's showing value and it is exhibiting kindness, generosity, they want to be around you more. I can tell you, I know agents that have won business like 50 listings at a time because they made they were a positive influence on the person on the other end. Okay. So don't think that who you are on the inside doesn't matter. It really does. Self-talk. This is not just going around chattering to yourself at night or whatever and talking back to yourself. Self-talk is the same thing we did this morning, the very first thing. You got to tell yourself you're in the business to win it. You can do this. You're going to master your business. So self-talk will overcome or defeat negative talk. Okay. If you don't self-talk, the negative chatter is going to get in your head. Okay. There's a lot of white noise out there. There's a lot of people. Oh, by the way, if you're just starting out in real estate, take what your family says with a grain of salt, because they've seen you, they've known you. For me, I'm a guy who's done a lot of things. And when I got into real estate, there are some people that said, oh, he's just got one more thing to do. Oh my, there's Tommy. And then I was rookie agent of the year in my office, 2007. But it's because I knew, hey, when I saw the opportunity and the possibilities for what real estate could do for me and my family, man, it was on. So don't let people get put negative talk into your head. Go ahead and already have that positivity ingrained because you know who you are and you know what you're doing.
Can I say something? It's just because when you say that and people talk about it, I always think of this one scene. I don't know if anyone's seen the movie American Beauty, but Annette Bening she's a real estate agent, and she's like doing an open house, and she like gets out of her dress and she's in her slip and she's like cleaning the house before the open house. And she keeps saying to herself, I will sell this house today. I will sell this house today. And every time I always think of that scene. I don't know. It just made me think of that.
No, that's great. That's a good example, illustration. But yeah, it means a lot. I mean, it really means more than I can say in words. Like I said, it took me a while to get out of my own head, and I was already at the top of my game in another industry. Okay, so but we do this to ourselves. That's why we need to be trained. That's why we need to have mentors. That's why we need to have coaches. And just to be honest, a lot of my mentors and coaches are on the other end of podcasts. Okay. They don't know me from Adam, but I'm learning a lot about real estate and about life from their expertise and their mistakes. So yeah, thanks for sharing that, Karen. So how do you check in with yourself? Well, this morning on Motivation Monday, I was talking about getting alone with yourself, doing some meditation, prayer, whatever it is, but finding that solitude where you get away from everything else just for a few minutes and reflect. Okay, that will give us more energy than you ever could imagine. And that's all. We don't have time to really talk more about that. Focus on what you want. We can do this through vision boards. We can do this through guided meditation, through visualization. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But be deliberate and be intentional. Being a passive bystander in real estate, you're not going to grow a business. Okay, you've got to be intentional. Okay, and this is easy because when we say client first, this is one of our mantras with Realty One Group. As a broker, you are my client. Okay, you the agent. We put agents first here. At least I hope we do in everything that we try to do, because this is about building your business. We don't want you to make Realty One Group Revolution popular. We want to make you popular. We want to make you famous through real estate. And our job is to be that umbrella, that support system to help you get there. Make sure that you have that mentality with your clients. If you do, you've got it made. Your clients, they lead the way. Now, there are things we're not going to let our clients do. We're not going to let them do something illegal, immoral, unethical, because you're the better person and you're the guide in their life, right? You can mentor them in that way. But at the end of the day, we're licensed professionals. We want to stay that way. If you don't have a license, you can't practice real estate. So make a commitment to your client's needs. However, make sure they're within bounds. Okay. Like I will tell you, there will be clients there will be somebody who will come up and try to get you to push the envelope and say, hey, can you let's sell this off market or whatever. People don't know what they don't know, but some people that's in their nature. They just want to get the edge by doing the wrong thing. So by knowing what's right, you can overcome that. So work in their best interest. When you always do the right thing, the money will come. Okay, that's my personal belief. If you're an honest person, if you live with integrity, if you're the professional that we say that we are, the money's going to come. Now, I will tell you this, don't freak out or get upset if you lose a client. Okay. Matter of fact, I will tell you there's some clients that you might need to fire. Okay. We're not going to close business for everybody. We're not everybody's real estate agent, although we often say that. We're gonna help the people that come into our sphere of influence that match our business plan. Okay. And we'll talk more about that later. All right. Okay. Some of the do's in real estate. I need somebody to help me, somebody that can unmute and go through this left column of bullets, just so I can give my voice a rest. How about Anna? Is Anna ready?
Am I Anna?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. You said the left. You said the left one.
The left column.
Yeah.
The camera's on.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All of them.
Yes. Left column.
Okay. Show confidence. Show concern about your customers' wants, needs, and desires. Build rapport. What is that? Rapport and find a common interest. Maintain your professionalism under stress. Be flexible and ready to learn new techniques and technology. Dress professional and be professional. Speak and write professionally. Communicate your work hours and return calls, text messages, and emails in a timely manner within that schedule.
Awesome. Thanks.
Awesome.
So, hey, the first time I saw that word rapport, I was like, what the heck is that? All right. So my screen is going in and out. So if you hear me pause, I'm trying to do something with my laptop. So Gina, were you going to say something?
No.
Okay. I thought I heard somebody. All right. So these are some do's. Okay. Does everybody agree with those?
Yes.
Okay. On the right side, we have some more. Have your vehicle in top condition. Let me just say something on that. Okay. All right. This is, I'll just give you an illustration from something that happened to one of my family members a while back. Somebody who was brought into our family, let's say that. This person went for a job, put an application in for a job. And one of the references was my son. And the person at this job site, they called my son as the reference. And one of the questions that she had for him was about the other person was, do they keep their car clean and neat? So what I'm talking about is my new son-in-law. His car, when we met him, he carried, I think, the contents of his room in his car. So we've had to give him some training and lessons on decency. No, just kidding. But anyway, my son, he was truthful. He told the woman on the phone, he was like, no, his car is actually pretty jacked up. They didn't call him back. So is your vehicle in top condition? Here's what I'll say about this. Your office, and I'm wanting to speak right now, in your car, should you use it as a tool for your business, should reflect who you are. Okay. If you want people to see you as messy and unorganized and dirty, then your car can be that way. So I feel like I'm preaching to the choir here because I don't feel like any of you guys would have to worry about this, but this is huge. You just don't know if your car, like if you've been carrying kids around like a lot of us do, and you haven't cleaned up and there's toys all over the place and unused wipes or whatever, just make sure your car is in good condition. Now, even if you're not carrying somebody around, because guess what? When you park beside another car, what do? They look in your car. Okay. Well, all right. So enough said about that. Try to use a sense of humor. That helps in this business because, hey, there's a lot we do that's serious, right? I'm going to let you guys read the rest of those. Believe in yourself. That's huge. You've got to believe in yourself and know that you're the one to get the job done. Let me see. All right. We're going to go on to some don'ts. Sorry, I'm trying to move icons around so I can see my screen. Let me just, I'm going to skip through these. Don't put down the competition. Don't be one of those who gets on social media and says, EXP sucks or something like that, okay? Although you might feel a certain way about other agents or other firms, please don't get caught up in doing that. And let me tell you why, because the right thing is the right thing always, okay? To be negative and condescending is not what we need to be in this business. And a lot of times agents get to be so competitive towards each other that they go down that rabbit trail. So let's make sure that we don't do that. That doesn't mean you can't be truthful and things like that, but try not to criticize, condemn, and especially when it comes to your client. There are a lot of clients that I really just wanted to tell the truth to and say, hey, you're an idiot. But just refrain from that. Just focus on bringing them value. Because here's the thing too. The people that you meet in life, the people that you do business with, I believe is more than just a real estate transaction. You know, there's a person behind there. There's a relationship you're building, whether you like it or not. These people may need you later, or they may look to you as that influence, that role model. So these other things, you know, we can't afford to lose our cool. Making excuses is just blaming somebody else. Don't talk in a negative tone, which a lot of times I've had to catch myself with my clients. For those of you who don't know, I spent 15 years putting people in prison, and a lot of that is negative talk. So I had to really unlearn a lot of that and really understand when I get in front of somebody, if I see something that looks wrong, I have to do it in a positive. I have to tell them in a positive way. Okay. Don't sell desperate. Oh my gosh. If you get up in the morning and you have this, I don't know, you're in a bad way, you're not really wanting to talk to people, don't get in front of anybody. Just take the day off. Don't sell desperate. What that means is when you sell desperate, you always compromise your commission. You'll do what it takes to try to get them to say yes. And when they see that, they don't want that kind of person. If you can't stand up for yourself, how can you stand up for their property, right? Or them? If you're willing to compromise yourself, your values, or your business plan, how fast will you compromise theirs? That's the way they're going to see it. So hold fast, bring value, be truthful. The business will come. Unless there's any questions, I think we're done with that one. Okay, so let me check my time. Okay, so this is one of my favorite parts because I believe this will help you get out of a bad situation and also keep yourself from even getting into a bad situation. So visualization. So I really believe in this, and let's just go through the list. Number one, you got to put positive things into your mind, to your heart, into your head. Okay. So listening to positive things like podcasts, like reading good books, good content, listening to positive people who are influencing your life. Visualize yourself being that person. Okay. Visualize yourself being the one who's bringing value, who's bringing those powerful antidotes, who's whatever it is for you. But listening to these kinds of positive things will get your brain into the mindset so you can visualize yourself as the winner. Number two, experience the feelings of victory, accomplishment, elation. So I'll ask somebody if they have an example, but one of mine is, sometimes like in the military, we have a physical training test, PT test, once or twice a year. And a lot of times, that week will be the week I just don't feel like being very physical. I don't feel like I'm in shape. But we have a 2-mile run that we have to finish within a certain amount of time. And what I do during that run, especially when I'm feeling off, is I start actually days before, but I think about myself. I visualize myself crossing the finish line, okay, at the time that I want to finish, like a minute before, 2 minutes before the max time or whatever. If you visualize that in your head and you visualize it as you're running, I can't tell you how much it helps. It helps you win. So in the real estate business, before you go on a listing appointment, get in your head and say positive things and experience yourself at the closing table, closing these people out. Okay. That gets you to the point where, hey, I know I can take them to the end. I can help them. 3, sit comfortably and run your perfect outcome video in your head. I like this because, if I were going to help this client get the house of their dreams, what would that look like? And you just run it through your head. Okay. It helps you experience something before you ever experience it, if that makes sense. It also will help you consider the questions they might have before they even ask. Consider 10 to 20 minutes of daily meditation or prayer. I highly recommend this. I'm a person of faith, so this is something that I know I believe God has designed for us, and it recharges us. However, whatever it looks like for you, implement that into your life. For some people, it's 5 minutes. For some, it's 30 or an hour. But 10 to 20 minutes, I believe, is enough to give you that recharge and that reset so that you can focus your brain on what you need to conquer today. And then number 5 is create a vision goal board or notebook. Include personal as well as business goals. Use words and pictures. So I'm not necessarily that person that needs to have that vision board, but I'll tell you what I do like to have. I do like to have specific images, something that I look up to, something that I want to attain, and I put that in front of me somehow, maybe on my phone. A good way to do a vision board is, it's really easy. You can do it in Canva, but is to put it as a screensaver on your laptop or put it on your phone. That way you're seeing it every day, or carry it in your little day planner, whatever it is that helps you. But the vision board is actually just putting things on there that you've, like say from day one, you decide this is what I want to accomplish. That way, when you're halfway through, you look at it and you're like, oh yeah, this is why I'm doing this. So it really helps. We already talked about affirmations, right? So ordinarily, I would give you time to write an affirmation, but we're not going to do that this morning because of time. But if you would screenshot these affirmations, gives you an idea. Write your own affirmation. And if you want to post them on our Facebook group or send them to me later, do that, because I want to validate what you're doing. So these affirmations, again, they're just evidence of our goal, of our vision, of our mission. Okay. All right. So when we're talking about what we need for our real estate business, these are the things that will set you up for success. So I have 14 images here. These are things that you should have for your real estate business. And so let's go through those. Number 1, you need a laptop. Yes, can't get away from that. Excellent camera and portable tripod. Let me just say this. I believe good agents should get professional photos, whether that's your spouse or you're paying for them. I don't recommend that you do your own photos, agents, because lots of times it just doesn't work out. Unless you're a photography professional, leave it to somebody else. And if you get in the habit of doing your own photos, it's time consuming. You don't have time for lead generation and other things. So your camera, though, if you want to take a picture, your phone, like iPhones or whatever, usually have about the best cameras. I don't recommend doing iPhone photos for your listings. Get somebody to do that for you. Note cards and envelopes. Why do we need these? Somebody tell me. Why do we need note cards and envelopes?
To write personal letters.
Why?
To keep in contact with your, because I think it's always nicer to send a handwritten note instead of like a text message or an email. It just makes you, it's kind of a lost art.
Yep. And so not just because it's a good thing to do, because statistics show right now, this is one thing that'll get people to open mail. Okay. Because nobody sends personalized stuff anymore. It's all like digital, right? So handwritten, which is not on here, but handwritten note cards, personal messages to people. They love that. You love that, right? So let's be honest. So get in the habit of doing that. You need a vehicle in good driving condition. You don't need to have a Mercedes, okay? You don't need to have top of the line vehicle. I will tell you, when I was a new agent, I just got in my head, I got to have a Porsche or something like that. I just got to have something that impresses people. No, you don't. So I recruited a guy to our office. He was doing about $7 million a year. By the end of the year, I recruited him. He's doing $10 million, but he drove something. I won't say what kind of car, but it was basically like a little Fiat. $10 million guy. He didn't feel the need to go get some $60,000 car. Okay. Anyway, that's enough on that rant. Don't put that on yourself. You don't need a high dollar luxury vehicle to do well in real estate. What you need is to be the person that client needs to get the job done. You need separate business. You do need a business account at some point, but you do need a separate checking account. And we're not going to talk about the ins and outs of that now, but just know you need a name tag and a pin. Name tags are good for open houses and showings, right? Okay. Stamps, because you got to put them on those postcards. Smartphone, business cards, internet access, the financial calculator, which you have on your one app, personalized yard and open house signs. So I would highly recommend you go out, even if you haven't done a listing yet, you're going to get one, that you go ahead and get one listing sign created, okay? Or a yard sign for the listing. They're fairly cheap. Let Amanda or Andrea know, or even me, and we can show you that you can get them done for $45 or less, really. You need a printer or a copier scanner. We have that at the office, or you might have one at your house. And you don't necessarily need a tablet, but it helps on listing consults. Any questions? Okay, so knowing your market is another key aspect of growing your real estate business. So a good way to know your market is, number one, time block to go preview listings in your neighborhood or in your area, okay? The best way to know what a market looks like is to go out there and see it, okay? So when somebody has an open house, it's just an open door for you to go check out the market. You can also do it on MLS, but that's not the same as going out there physically, because you don't see, agents don't put bad things on pictures, right? We don't put power lines on pictures. We don't put like new construction across the street on listing photos. So to really know what your market looks like, you need to go out there and walk it. All right. So enough said about that. All right. All I'm going to say is about the Realty One Group app is the new app is coming out on the 27th. I think you should have gotten an email. You can sign up for training. If not, I'm sure we will have some coming soon. but just be on the lookout. You'll have a new app. And what you want to do is use this app to help your clients stay in touch with you, because they can search properties through it and they can send you messages through it. Capturing leads with your app. So we just kind of went through that. Oh, crap. Hold on. Sorry. Okay. Did you know that you can use your app to look at nearby homes? You can send links to properties or text them to your clients, things like that. But we're not going to go in detail here. Identifying your strengths inventory. All right, so this is a biggie. So each one of you have a list of strengths, okay? Things that you're good at, things that either come natural or that they're a learned skill. Give me a second. All right. So so a lot of times we get like tunnel vision or kind of in our own head. We don't know what our strengths are. Here's a good exercise that will help you. So what you want to do is go back and list your previous jobs down the side of one side of a page. Okay. And then to the right of that, write out the role that you had in that job, or what was your job title. Then you're going to skip over to another column and list the activities you performed that you really enjoyed. Okay. Then the next column over, you're going to list activities that you didn't enjoy at all. And then what you're going to do is look for patterns. So you're not looking at job title, but you're looking at the things that you performed. Here's the thing, the things that we like to do, we usually do well, right? So here's what we're trying to get at. Things that you're not good at, you want to delegate. So I teach, no, you don't need to go and learn how to do it well. You delegate it. You run with the things that you already do well. Okay. Now that doesn't mean we learn, but when you're scaling a business, when you're building a team, this is where teamwork comes into play. Build your business like a business. So if I can't say anything with more importance, it's this. Think about the end state. What you want, say 20 years from now, what do you want your business to have achieved? Okay. Are you here because you're serious about building a successful business and creating a valued asset? Maybe, maybe not. Right now, you might be saying, hey, I just want to see how this real estate thing is going to go. Do you want a business you can sell later? Or do you want to just earn extra money? So really, the answer to this really determines what your business is going to look like. So if we start at the bottom, if you just want to earn extra money, which is why I got in real estate, in 2006. When I got in and I saw how complicated and comprehensive, I was like, okay, I just want to do a few and make extra money, because I didn't think I could do it all. Okay. As I started to get successful, then I was like, what can I do with this business? How can I scale it? I see what other people are doing. So it's a good question to ask yourself up front. Again, when you run your business like a business, you need to have a plan, right? So have a written business plan. So this one pager is not really the business plan. It is some questions, categories you need to be aware of to have a good business plan. So for example, what are some of the outcomes you want to achieve? What disciplines do you need to put in place to achieve those? What are some of the improvements based on what's happened in your business? Hold on. So have a written business plan. By the way, for those of you who don't know, you should have received a link from Andrea or Amanda to go into one university and start your 2022 business plan. It's called a business planning session. We're actually going to do it at the office as well, but I highly recommend it's a comprehensive walk with you how to write a business plan for next year. And if you don't know, you always start the business plan the beginning of the last quarter of the following year or the previous year. So if I can't wait till January to know what I'm going to do for next year, I've got to do it in October. Okay. And then you want to create clearly defined, vibrant written goals in all areas of life. Well, okay. There's some tools to help us do that, but just think about what are the different areas of life. You got your family. For some of you have school, maybe your faith life or church, your health, things like that. So these things matter to your real estate life. So you want to make sure that you know what your goals are, and then you want to measure and track. And then we'll talk about budgets. I mean, we're not going to go in depth, but I'll give you a spreadsheet to help you with budgets. All right, so I want you to know that you do have a team. So when we talk about teams in real estate, a lot of times it's like a team leader with buyers, agents, assistants, things like that. But first, you can go very far with just having a team of us, okay? Those of us at Realty One Group. So we provide mortgage or lenders. We can refer attorneys, help you with title, if that's the case. We have vendors in these different areas for inspections, warranties, all these different things. So what I recommend you do and think about doing in your real estate business as you progress is, you need to pull together a list of vendors and team members, so I want to call them, people that can help you get your business to the next level. So think about a particular buyer transaction. What kind of resources would you need to get that person from contract to close? And then make sure that you have, we used to say have these people on speed dial, but have these people, make sure they're on your team. You contact them regularly, let them know who you are. Like your home inspector shouldn't just hear from you when you have a home that needs to be inspected. Send them an email every 2 weeks saying hello. Any questions here?
No questions.
All right. How many of you have, how many of you know what SMART goals are? If you've taken a business class, I'm sure you've seen this.
Yes.
So your goals, okay. So your goals need to meet these 5. Hold on. All right. Goals need to be specific. They can't be general. Let's see. All right, so I was checking chat. They need to be measurable, meaning a lot of times, meaning we need to know if you need to get from point A to B, how do we know you got there? Okay. They need to be attainable. They need to be within reach. Goals are higher, but they shouldn't be an unachievable goal. It should be something that can be achieved, can be attained. Does that make sense? They need to be relevant to, I'm just having a time on my screen here. They need to be relevant. They need to be related to the goal, and timely, meaning they're not just out there like I'll get to it sometime. You need to put a time date on it, like I will achieve this goal within 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, whatever that is. And if you do this with your goals, you're going to have some really comprehensive goals that will help you get to your end state. All right, let's look at the big picture. Where are you right now? It's a philosophical question. Where do you want to be? So just imagine you just got dropped into the Sahara Desert, okay? Funny thing is Grant Cardone, you can Google him, but he's a sales guy. He's been in real estate investments. He actually did this for a show. And they were like, if we drop you with nothing in the middle of nowhere, can you make $1 million? And I think he made 5 million. But anyway, so if you were dropped in the desert, where would you start? What would you do? And remember, you're a business owner. So this is kind of how I want you to be thinking. Like the no joke, like, what do I really need to do to get from point A to point B? What do I need to do right now to leverage my real estate business? So the things that we've been talking about are part of that process. You got to know what your income, you know what your expenses are. You got to know how you're going to lead generate. Are you going to call, people in your sphere of influence? Are you going to call expireds? All that good stuff. So I've given you a template. I've emailed it out. This one is, I'm not going to go over this. This is pretty self-explanatory, but it's a personal and business expense worksheet. This is a guide for you. You may want to add something to it. By the way, on tax liability, if you know you're 20%, you can change that. But for most agents and to really help them, the 25% seems to be a good number. All right, how many transactions do you need to reach your goal? So in the business planning, it gets more detailed and succinct than this, but this is an easy kind of a cheat sheet to do that. So what you want to do is you need to know what your average sales price is in the area, what your average commission per side. That doesn't mean what's being offered on the MLS, but in the end, I mean, are you getting 2.5% commissions regularly or 3%? Whatever it is, put that there. What is the average commission per sale? And how much money do I intend to earn? How many transactions do I need to close each year? By the way, this worksheet is really to kind of give you an aha and help you understand how important business is, whether it's real estate or something else. But what is your time worth? What is an hour of your time a day worth? If you truly calculated this, I think you would spend time on doing things that make sense and not wasting your time. You would delegate more things out, or try. As a new agent, you would stay away from things that don't lead to any new revenue. So, like, for example, like for me trying to put together an image on Canva, I'll get in there and spend 2 hours on it, and I'll look back and like, why am I doing this? I could be out meeting people. So you want to know what your desired income is, divide that goal by 52. That's 52 weeks in the year. Then you want to divide that weekly goal by the number of days worked per week. Now, if you're only going to work on your real estate business 2 days a week, then that's what you need to put. If you work 5 days a week, then put that. And then divide by the number of hours. Now, by the way, when you divide by the number of days worked per week, I wouldn't go past 6. You need to have 1 day off. Look, nobody maybe teaches this, but you don't need to work 7 days a week. You'll burn yourself out. And that goes back to that respite kind of thing I was talking about this morning. Number of hours working in real estate daily. So per day, do you work 2 hours a day, 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day? Be honest, and you'll come up with what you're worth per hour. Okay. Now, if your hourly is low, that means you need to spend more time in your business and or get rid of the things that aren't doing the things that bring you revenue. Okay. So it's really easy to raise that. All right. So there's power in planning. In any plan, you need to know where you're going, what your goal is, your vision, and then you need a roadmap to get there. What is that roadmap? So really, I think the Rev Up modules are designed to kind of be your roadmap to help you design a real estate business plan. However, it's only you that's going to determine what your true destination is. Okay. And that goes back to why we're in real estate. Is it to get our kids through college? Is it just because I'm bored and I'm at home all day and I want to do something? These are all legitimate. So figure out what it is that drives you. Now, you want to get in the habit of tracking your real estate business, and I've sent an Excel spreadsheet. We'll look at it in a minute. But when you track your business, you can see your progress. When you see your progress, it's a motivational factor to help you keep going. Also, you can look back at your tracking and you can make course corrections. What does that mean? That means you can see where you've spent too much time or not enough time in certain areas, and you can correct that. For dollars spent, a lot of times I look back on the last year and see that I spent too much money, or I spent money on a lead generation tactic that didn't get me any dollars. So I would drop that. So understand where your money is going. A lot of us, we subscribe to services and forget about them, right? And then unless we get an invoice in the mail or a statement, or we get an alert on our iPhone, we don't know we're even spending the money. So getting in the habit of tracking what you're spending will help alleviate some of that. All right. When we're talking about your current productivity, what does your week consist of? Is it efficient, organized, and highly productive, or is it scattered, disorganized, and wasted? Or it could be a combination of both. But think about it. This is, to really build your business, you need to be efficient. You need to be organized. You need to be time blocking. You need to be productive. That means you actually need to be engaged in growing your business. So whether we're talking about revenue producing or activities that support it, they're two different things. Number one, you've got to do both, right? Let me give an example. Meeting new people, talking about your real estate business, calling your sphere of influence, that's lead prospecting, okay? That will get people in the door so that you can sign contracts. However, to get them to close, you have to do a lot of different activities. Like you have to do paperwork, right? We've got to make phone calls. We have to talk to attorneys, home inspectors. We've got to schedule things. There's really only three things that produce revenue. That's when you're out meeting people, calling people. That's when you're sitting with people. Anything that relates to being in front of people and getting them in the door. That's going to be your revenue producing activity. Everything else can be subbed out. Everything else, okay. One is I left out the negotiation part. You want to make sure that you're the one bringing the business in. You're the one keeping your pulse on the business, on the people, and also the one doing negotiation. Just about everything else can be done through a transaction coordinator or whatever. The point I'm trying to make is not that you need a transaction coordinator, is that you need to know what produces the revenue. And then as you grow, you can begin to delegate some of those activities to somebody else if need be. I will tell you though, I don't think I even hired a transaction coordinator until I was doing 5 million in business. Okay. So anyway, there's an exercise called Where Does the Time Go? It is in your email. I'm not going to go over it. Time blocking. We've talked about it already. Time blocking allows you to focus on one activity at a time. Okay, that's why it's called a time block. So from 8 to 9 o'clock, if I'm, say if I'm doing my quiet time / pre-planning, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing nothing else. From 9 to 10 o'clock or 9 to 11 o'clock, if it's lead generation or prospecting, I'm doing that. I'm doing nothing else. I don't have the computer on anything else. I don't have somebody walking in my office. I'm doing just that. Schedule time off before time on. So we talked about backwards planning when we're building our schedule. You want to schedule family time, doctor's appointments, things of that nature, and time off, vacation, Say you've decided I'm only going to work 5 days a week, then go ahead and time block all of Saturday and Sunday or whatever those other 2 days are. But you've got to do it. But make sure they meet, your goal. They meet your goals. If you can't meet your goals working 5 days a week, then it means you got to work Saturday. So when I turned my business from predominantly buyer business to a seller's business or listings, I went from working 7 days a week to 5. And then as my listings grew, of course, listings bring buyers, then I added back in half a day on Saturday. So you'll figure it out for yourself. Okay, this is just an example of a worksheet, the perfect week that I've given you. I'm not going to go over it here, but that gives you an idea of what some of the major time hacks, time blocking areas that you need to do as a real estate agent. Personal accountability, plan your work your plan. Everybody needs an accountability partner, right? What I would recommend is you find somebody in our firm, because in our firm, we have the same values, same mindset. We're teaching the same thing. Find an accountability partner that you can work with. Accountability tools, what are those? Calendar, email alerts, text alerts, things like that. Coaches, you can hire a coach, hire a mentor. And by the way, I don't know, even if you're not in the mentor program, you can like, even as a broker, you can go back and we'll partner you with a mentor. We can put you in that program. We can give you coaching. So all of the above are some of the things that will help you stay committed. All right. I need to move along and get us finished here. Okay. So prospecting, we talk about this more in detail at a later lesson. So I'm only going to just mention it here, but you need to be aware of circles of opportunity. I like that we call these opportunities because they're opportunities. If you don't capitalize on them, they're just opportunities. But if you capitalize on the opportunity, you turn it into a lead, you turn it into a conversion, you turn it into a contract, you turn it into a closing. Does that make sense? I am talking an awful lot here. All right. If you'll look at the circles of opportunity, this model here, you can see they're color coded. So let me make this really simple. The inside circle, past clients, friends, family, that's people probably who know, love, and trust you. Okay. They're familiar with you. It's best to start here when we're building our business. Then we grow out. The next circle is neighbors, doctors, churches, things like that. People that are in our sphere of influence, but kind of out on the fringes. And then the last circle is people that don't know us, that we want them to know us through our website, through doing ads, direct mail, farming, sign calls. Okay. Here's what agents do. Here's what a new agent will do. They'll look at somebody in their office who's been in the business for 6 years and they're farming an area. The new agent doesn't know it, but they've been farming it for 2 years. Now they're getting business out of it. So the new agent says, oh, that's cool. I want to set that trigger marketing up, and goes and spends $250 a month on trigger marketing. And after 2 months, when they spent their $500, that's all they have, and they don't have any leads, they get frustrated and they get defeated. So knowledge, knowledge is the access. Knowledge will take you far in life. Just because now I know that in farming, you at least have to give yourself a 12-month period for people to be familiar enough with you to want to contact you. So it's a long-term lead generation type of activity. However, if we call somebody we know or call a friend of a friend, we've got a little bit of influence on our side. So we're going to capitalize more, and it costs $0. It just costs a little, whatever your worth per hour is, how many calls can you make within that hour? Then divide that by, the calls. So it's a lot cheaper to get out there and do the grind than it is to do something that's a bell and whistle. And believe me, you're going to want to do the bells and whistles because you don't want to put the work into it. We're all that way. But the bells and whistles will only work after we put the grind into it. All right, the GPS tools. This is a list of some of the spreadsheets. I mean, the downloads that I've sent you. We've talked about some of these scripts and dialogues. We haven't because I didn't get it sent out, but I'm going to go over it here quickly in just a minute. But before I do, who would like to unmute and explain the Rev Up One Habit? Daily habit.
Nobody. This is Karen. I'll do it. All right. It's 3 calls, 3 add-ons for potential other people that you've just met, and 6 notes, either thanking them for their interest or intriguing them with just a great thank you. Absolutely. Thanks, Karen. So rather than going out and spending that $250 a month, if you guys would do this each day that you work, okay? I'm not telling you to do it every day. If you decided 3 days a week from 9 to 12, I'm going to focus on my real estate business. Each of those days, do this 3-3-6, 3 calls, 3 ads, 6 notes. In a month's time, in 30 days time, you're going to have how many, you can add it up. You're going to have these people in your database now talking to them, and it's going to alert you to contact them regularly. So this is how you build a business. Once you've had some success with that, man, 3 calls ain't nothing. You'll be doing 10 calls, 20 calls. So there you go. Let me pull up a couple of things here that I want you to see. Can y'all see this client letter?
Yes, I see it.
Okay. This is an example, and I think I sent you guys a copy of a very brief, just, you know, a nice hello. You can use Canva and create, you know, I wouldn't get to the point where it's all like full of pictures and all this kind of stuff, but make it very simple and clean. And this is something I acquired from somewhere else, and I just kind of made it mine. But it just says, hey, my name is Tommy, and I'm your property expert at Realty One Group. Homeownership's a passion of mine, yada, yada. Here's how you can reach me. Okay, so that's that. I want to show you this 10 apps for real estate pros, because what most of us don't realize that the things that will make us successful or help us scale our business are right at our fingertips. So number 1 is having a Facebook business page. Okay. I mean, whether you like Facebook or not, whether you want to be on or not, I think everybody here is. I'm not going to go into politics of Facebook, but there are a lot of people on Facebook, and you can generate business. I have. So you need a Facebook business page, because it'll allow you to do the number 2, to do the Facebook ads. Okay. So the opportunity to do Facebook ads, I mean, you could, if you really want to spend money on leads, I would do this. Spend $1 to $5 a day on Facebook ads. Number 3 is Instagram, promoting yourself. I mean, promoting your business. Number 4 is Instagram TV. Number 5 is LinkedIn. Set up a profile. Number 6, DocuSign. I got to replace that with DigiSign. We already have it. It's free, and we're already paying for it through your access to Zone. Zapier. You don't really need this yet, but this integration, I call it a gadget. It will allow you to connect other things to, like, your website or whatever. I can't really think of a reason why you need it right now, but agents who are doing other multiple things, this would be a good way for them to integrate some other lead generation opportunities or whatever. Our website that we have will pretty much allow us to put what we need in there. Number 8 is a mortgage calculator, which you already have in your one app. Number 9 is Dot Loop, and number 10 is Dropbox. So
Dropbox, because it is a storage location outside of my laptop. So I want to try to get all the clutter in one place. So in Dropbox, it'll allow you to do folders and subfolders, and that's how I categorize my closings, my buyers, and all that. So if that helps, use it. Scripts and dialogues. Now, like I said, email me and I'll send you this. But look, I've got scripts and dialogues for this list. It's pretty comprehensive, from expireds down to FSBOs. It gets pretty detailed. Now, what I will say is the script, it gives you like the idea of what to say. Don't take this and memorize it verbatim. Take it and edit it, put your words in it, then memorize it. And then what you're going to do is you're not going to say it for memorization. You're going to say it because now you're familiar with it. When somebody, you know, for example, an expired script, what do you say to them when you call them? Here you go. How do you get the appointment? So this is a really good tool. So email me if you want it. I have one other document I want to show. Here we go. All right. You're going to love this. So I forget what I named it. Let's see. Lead conversion. Lead conversion tracking master. Okay. So what this is, if you'll look, it's
Did we lose sound?
I think we did.
Yeah, I can't hear anything either. I think we lost him. He went off the participant list.
And he was using Zoom, right? For an hour at least.
Yeah, he's not under the participants, so maybe he got kicked off or something.
Yeah. Well, all right, guys. It was great powwowing. Until we meet again, because I guess he's going to come back on, but by the time he come back on, let me see, it's almost 11, 5 minutes. Yeah.
Isn't there like a 5-minute rule? If he doesn't come back, we leave?
Oh, no. I'm sure he's trying to get back on, but he had like 5 minutes left, so it's almost 11. So maybe he may not even realize that he's off yet. Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure if the host can rejoin. I think that this is it.
You might be right. Oh, he posted something. He said his computer crashed. Just take a look at the docs I emailed. Let me know if you have any questions.
All right, girls, go make it a great day. Talk to you later.
And
Thank you.
Bye.